Hey chickies, okay, today we are back to Halloween. Now, last night I did a quickie poll to find out which of these two manis that I did like 2 years ago but never filmed a tutorial for, everybody would like me to film a tutorial for. So, Jack Skellington literally won out by a country mile. But for those of anybody, if anybody's watching that voted on those particular manis, the Stalker mani slash Spooky Eye mani will be coming up very shortly on this channel, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into the Jack Skellington one. I really hope you like it. I'm starting off with a white base on all of my nails using OPI's Alpine Snow, but conceivably you could start off with a black base and use white paint, but I'm using a white base and black paint to start with. So I'm just using my matte black Acrylic Craft paint. I'll also be using my e.l.f. Professional Concealer brush. That sounds very fancy. Anyway, it's the brush I use to do that sort of textured-y kind of effect on my nails. I love it. It's fabulous. Okay, so this is super easy. It's just basically sploshing that all over your nail until you get to the consistency or the darkness that you like. If you go a little too dark, you can come back in with a little bit of white, but just basically splotch that thing over your entire nail. You can use some liquid latex to protect the skin around your nails if you wish. I didn't really wish, so I didn't do it. So there you go. So as you can see, I'm coming back in with a little bit of white, and then I come back in with a little bit of black, and just, you know, keep doing that until you like what you see, until it gets to the consistency that you like, or the color strength that you like. Have at it. It's fun. Now I repeated this process on all of my nails. If you don't have an e.l.f. concealer brush, although they're incredibly cheap, especially in the United States, in Walmart I think they're like $1 each. If you don't have one of those, you can use up ripped up pieces of sponge as well to create this little textured effect. Now you can choose to clean up as you go like I do, or you can just leave it to the very end as well. After I've cleaned up, I added a thin top coat. This is Picture Polish's Looking Glass, and the reason I do that is that when I start to create the detail using the Acrylic Craft paint, if I make any mistakes, I can just wipe it off. That's why I do that. It's very clever, I know. So for the detail, I'm using my fine detail brush, the MAXI from the Stylish Nail Art Shop, and the black Acrylic Craft paint. And on the index nail, starting on the index nail, creating these weird looking, curly, scary looking trees on the far side of my nail. I repeated this process in the opposite kind of view on the pinky nail as well. Next, moving on to the ring fingernail, I'm painting a smallish white moon using matte white Acrylic Craft paint. You could use a dotting tool, like a really big dotting tool for this if you didn't feel comfortable actually painting the circle yourself. Next, whilst I'm waiting for the small moon to dry, I'm moving on to the middle nail and creating Jack Skellington's head. It's just a really big kind of circle, but not at the same, like it's not a perfect circle. Next, I'm going to create Jack's neck. It's kind of a thin, sort of skinny, longish neck. And then we're going to come in with some black Acrylic Craft paint and paint the lapels of his jacket thing. Anyway, they're really sort of, I don't know how to describe them. Anyway, like that. And also his shoulders as well, sort of coming down. So next we're going to go ahead and paint a thin top coat again over the moon. And the reason again why we do that is if you make a mistake with the next amount of detail that you do, you can wipe it off and start again very easily without having to restart the whole thing. And we do the same thing on Jack Skellington's head, so we can create his eyes and his face without having to worry about doing the whole thing again if you muck it up. I'm going to show you that in actual practice here. I'm going to do or start the eyes for Jack Skellington. I started it using a dotting tool because it just makes it easier. Well, trust me, it makes it easier. But what I did wrong was I painted the first eye too big so that the little eye, the other eye, just wasn't going to work. So I wiped it off using some isopropyl alcohol and started again. And again, I didn't do it very well, so I didn't like it. So I started it again. Simple. That's why we do it this way. That's why I did it the way I did, because I wanted to show you that, because do not get it right the first time, every time. Absolutely not. Never. Very rarely happens that way. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I just wanted to also mention the fact that I didn't use Seche Vite for the in-between top coat because it's a lot thicker than the picture polish Looking Glass. So that's why I use that. Any thin top coat will do. You can use Seche Vite if that's all you've got. That's fine as well. Just try and put it on very thinly. So as you can see, continuing on with all of the details of Jack Skellington's face. Then we're going to be moving back onto the ring fingernail with the little white moon, and we're going to paint the curly hill. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it has a name, but I just call it the curly hill. And we're going to paint that in front of the moon. It goes over the moon slightly, not a lot, but just a little bit. Now you don't have to do all of this detail in one menu. You could just choose maybe Jack Skellington's face and do that on one nail and something else, or maybe just have the rest of your nails black. I just wanted to show you the entire thing. I'm sorry this one's really long, but I wanted to show it all to you. Now finally, and I'm kicking myself for this, I decided to use I&M Nails Total Eclipse because it's a UV top coat. It's basically designed to stop your nails from yellowing, but another thing that it actually does is glows under my black light. And I'm kicking myself because I think what I should have done is paint this over the base, that textured base, and then done all of the detail painting over the top of that. Because what I then needed to do, and this is something that you will not have to do because you won't make the same mistake as me, I had to go back over all of the black detail, not the white detail, but just the black detail again, just so that it would stand out when I took a photo under my black light. Talk about making work for yourself. Hands up. So I thought I'd show you really quickly what I did there, but I would suggest that you don't do that. I think I was having a pretty severe blonde moment at that point. Oh well, doesn't matter. Like, I even had to go back in and paint the eyes, the nose and the mouth all over again. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's okay. And finally, after all of that, I decided to go ahead and paint matte top coat over black Acrylic Craft paint and cross my fingers it wouldn't smudge. And it didn't, so yay! And that's it for this one. It's a pretty epic mini, but I really hope you liked it. I really loved the Jack Skellington one I did 2 years ago, so I was really excited to redo it. Anyway, stay tuned for some more Halloween manis. More are coming up. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, chickies. Oh, and thank you for subscribing. And thanks for that delicious thumbs up. Bye.